It's time for Two Guys and a Goalie with Dustin Nielsen, Matt Cassian, and the goalie, Joaquin Gage.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode, a Thursday episode of Two Guys and a Goalie. Nielsen, Cass, and Gage with you here once again. As always, we are brought to you by our friends at CoolBet. If you visit coolbet.com, use the code Two Guys, the number 2 in the word guys, to sign up when you sign up for an account at CoolBet. Use the code Two Guys. Lots to get to. Chris Abbott's going to join us a little bit later on. CoolBet actually just signed a deal with Degrasse, Canadian sprinter, to be part of their new messaging out in Ontario. So we'll talk a little bit about that with Chris Abbott when he pops by. We've got lots to get to. JBB and the Bing Bing boys, who text into my radio show on a regular basis, they're like, Dusty, we're going to be listening today. We want that dirty Gager sauna story. So they're fired up for that on the podcast today. Cass, how are you doing, man?
I'm good. I was just in the middle of telling Gager about my Formula F1, whatever, my Formula One team for our fantasy AM Nasty League. And I didn't get through everybody, but I think it's looking pretty good. I'm pretty sure I'm going to wipe the floor with everybody.
Listen. Cass is Gager. I said this morning, if there was a word for more than all in for Gager, and somebody suggested, Dusty, you might not be able to say it on the radio, but the word's balls deep. I was just like, yeah, Gager's kind of gone balls deep here on Formula One, and I too have become passionate about it. And I know you're just dabbling around the edges right now, Cass, but this time next year, you're going to be sitting here in a full Ferrari racing suit. Like, I know it. So just keep plugging away, buddy.
I'm going to build the little thing like that Rashog did. Like
yes.
The full chair, like with like 8 screens all around you.
It's the only way to go. Gager's going to have like 6 screens set up tonight.
Yeah, I was looking at the actual real simulators.
Yes, you were.
Just to see how, like, actual hydraulics in them and stuff. But it was $500,000, so something's going to have to change for me to afford one of those things. So, but yeah, no, it's welcome aboard, Cass. I think isn't it Ubiquitous? Is that the right name? That's how I'm all over the F1 stuff everywhere.
I thought you were going to pull out an F1 mug right there. That would have been amazing timing if you pulled out a Haas racing mug.
That's probably the only thing I can afford, actually.
Yeah. Pretty much, man. That stuff's expensive. It's crazy. All right, guys, we're going to get to the game tonight. Obviously, a few other things we want to discuss, playoff positioning and things like that. But, Gager, you did tease the Sauna Story, and people want this Sauna Story. So, I mean, if you need to PG it a little bit more than maybe the actual story itself, feel free. But this also is a podcast that, you can basically say whatever you want. So,
well, as like this, the European saunas are, like I mentioned, clothing optional, right? So, there's a lot of stories of meeting guys' wives in the saunas that made it really awkward. Never happened to me, none of that stuff. But I'm just going to go back to one story in particular, and I don't know if I've told this or not, but it was actually at the Spengler Cup, Dusty. So back in 1999 with Team Canada, we're in the Spengler Cup, and we had some extra guys, and so this story doesn't actually. And I won't say the guy's name because I don't have permission about this. But in the hotel, like didn't I tell you, Dusty, go down to the sauna in the hotel.
You did mention that, yeah.
Yeah. So you go down there, and all of a sudden, I mean, Davos is a quite wealthy part of Switzerland, and you see a lot of women, but they walk around naked down in the sauna. So it's kind of jarring at first when you walk in, and we noticed there was a few quite attractive women during the Spengler staying at the hotel, and we're like, geez, are they going to go into the sauna? So this is the story. So one of our guys who was not playing at the time, didn't come to the game right away, obviously, and then he went, you know what, I'm just going to go work out and go for a sauna afterwards. And he said that he goes, after he works out, he goes into the sauna, and one of the women who we were as a team said she was quite attractive, was in the sauna with him completely naked. And so he was like, wow, this is crazy. And then so she started talking to him, and they had a big conversation, and then she said, well, would you like to go take a shower? And he's like, well, yeah, sure. So he goes into like the shower part, and I guess like we're just all listening to this story, like what the hell is happening? Like he's telling this after the game, and so she comes into the shower with him and goes, "Yeah, give me the cloth," and starts like essentially washing him all over, and he's like standing there not knowing what's going on, and then afterward like rinse everything, and she goes, "Okay, it was nice to meet you. I'll see you later." So it didn't end how you would, but what a bizarre scene of events, because he was quite aroused with this woman, like basically washing everything. And and that was yeah.
See, my sauna story is a little bit different.
Oh boy! Wait a second.
So,
your story's different than that one? I thought it would have been maybe the other way around. Like,
no, it's. I mean, it was more fun than anything. It's a pretty funny story, Gager. We were over for the NHL exhibition games with Minnesota, and then we had 2 regular season games against Carolina. And so we were there for a little while.
You were in Finland too, right?
In Finland, yeah. We were in Helsinki, out of Helsinki, and we bussed to a couple other places to play the other 2 exhibition games. I can't remember the name of the towns now. But for one of our days off, we had a big team event day, and it just in the Baltic Sea, just off of Helsinki, there's I mean, I don't know what it's officially called, but we called it Sauna Island. Sauna Island, where you have to hop on a boat, and it's like you go through the harbor and you have to go out to this island, and it's just filled with saunas. Like they have like modern, like brand new, like built up ones. They have them dug like in the dirt, like in rock, like under the ground. They have like little round barrel ones. They had like all kinds of these different, like there must have been 20 or 30 on there. And they all had like different types of wood. Like there's different types of wood that they used in the different types of saunas, like for whatever different atmosphere. So we got there and they rented out the entire island. So you had like the 2 or 3 staff that were working there. And then you had like 30 guys all running around butt naked on this island. So the entirety of our team, and they didn't bring nearly enough water. So basically all they had was like beer and that weird licorice liquor. Yeah. Like if you've ever been over there, it's like a weird, licorice is the best way to describe it, but it's like a weird liquor. I mean, licorice, it was weird stuff. And like sliced reindeer. So we had like these platters of like reindeer and cheese and all that, and basically beer and liquor and like no water. So we were there for like 4 or 5 or 6 hours. Oh. And I mean, you're in these saunas going in and out, like then going and running and jumping in the ocean. Same thing. Everyone's just like, you're supposed to put on your towel when you're walking between the saunas. No one's putting on their towel. And it's just, again, like 30 dudes just running around butt naked on an island. And I'll never forget Kyle Brodziak. Brody, he was down, he had just jumped in the ocean, and he looked up and he was just like, "This is the best day of my life." Guys, just having fun. Didn't need anyone to scrub our back in the shower in that one, but just running around butt naked on Sauna Island. And you know what? Brody wasn't wrong. It was actually a ton of fun, like a pretty good day. But yeah, my experience, that's my European sauna story.
I got to start hanging out in saunas more. You guys have great stories. This is great.
You got wait till you get back to the Spengler, Dusty. Yeah, and go hit that Christmas thing. Yeah.
I'll go hit it up. Look for a showering, I guess.
maybe don't tell Tammy this story, but
actually, it's just showering. Like, that's all it was, right? So man, I am showering all the time over here. This is crazy.
The funny thing is you wouldn't believe how many guys went to the sauna after that waiting.
Waiting. Yeah, that's
just
funny.
Waiting.
Yeah, that's a Seinfeld episode right there, man. And then I was at the sauna. All right, a few things to get to. Oilers and Kings tonight. Let's just quickly hit on that. Chris Abbott's going to pop by. We'll play. Abbott's going to join us right away. So let's just get thoughts on the game tonight. Then we'll get to we got to talk about it. And I've got 2 Guys Showdown locked and loaded again. Hopefully, be a little bit better than last time. Gager, let's start with you, bud. Like, how's the? Where's the vibe at? Like. And we'll know soon. They're going to skate here at 12:30, so they're going to skate during the podcast. So we should know if Draisaitl's going to be playing or not. But Gager, coming off that game against San Jose where they kind of, 5th in a row, grinded that one out. I mean, is that kind of the tail end of a winning streak there, or is that something that kind of pushes you ahead for a few more? What are you expecting from them tonight?
Well, yeah, like that's how I thought about the game at the first. Just okay, is this winning streak kind of coming to an end? But nice to see the Oilers kind of. I mean, they didn't have their best game, but to actually have only play really good for a few minutes and still come out on top, that's quite encouraging. Tonight, I think it's just a little bit different atmosphere for this game, right? So much depends on it with second place on the line. And that last game here against the Kings was really entertaining. And I mean, we won't know if Leon's back in the lineup or not. That made a huge difference. Kind of seeing the old coach and the new coach going at it again. That's an interesting aspect to look at it too. I would like to see how the Oilers respond if Leon's not in the lineup again, because I thought that, I mean, he's such a huge part of their team when he's out, obviously when he's out of the lineup, but I wanted to see just kind of a better response from them, even without Leon. Right. So I'm really looking forward to tonight's game. It's gonna be a real good one, because the Kings, man, they're impressive. They are a really good, hard-nosed, honest hockey team.
We do know Mike Smith is starting. So Mike Smith's in the starter's net coming off of what we saw in that last game. So obviously he's fine, or else I wouldn't be starting him again. Cass, your thoughts on what we may or may not see tonight here against Los Angeles?
Well, I think for Mike Smith, you're trying to build that confidence into him, where he hasn't had very many stretches this year where he's been really good. And he played pretty well last game. Obviously has a massive pass at the end of the game, is super, super fired up. And so they're probably like, okay, let's give him a chance to get rolling here. He's feeling it. Let's go with some momentum. So not overly surprised at that, as long as he's not actually banged up. So I guess we'll have to see on it. But I'm expecting LA to play a very simple game again. They're just going to try to structure this thing out, going to try to patient the game out. They're probably going to look at what San Jose did against Edmonton and say, let's do the same thing in slowing Edmonton down in the neutral zone to take away some of their rush opportunity for. And that's how they're going to try to play. So for Edmonton, they're going to have to be patient, but they're still going to have to balance that with an appropriate level of aggressiveness through the neutral zone to make sure that you're actually generating opportunities there. So, if Draisaitl's out of the lineup, someone's got to carry the puck on that second line. And I think there was some hesitation for some of the other guys where they weren't decisive with the puck when they had it in the neutral zone. And you need to get that decisiveness. Now, it needs to be good decision decisiveness, but they need to get that decisiveness in their game to try to create something off of the rush.
All right, we'll have more on the Oilers and the Kings in just a second. We're going to talk a little bit about the playoff race in the West in a second as well, and we'll get to the new smash hit game, Two Guys Showdown. And I've got two good categories today for you, and we're going to do both today. Chris Abbott is in yet another location. Looks like a hotel bedroom. I don't know why this guy has a permanent residence, to be honest with you, Chris. How often are you actually at home, dude, and where are you today?
Not home often enough. I don't know how good the Wi-Fi is, so let me know if I'm cutting out. But I'm in downtown Halifax, Nova Scotia today.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah. So I used to live here before I moved to Toronto. I lived here for a number of years, and all my friends have been giving me a hard time saying I never came back to visit after I left. But in fairness, Atlantic Canada was basically shuttered for the last 2.5 years. So finally found a couple of days to sneak out. I probably could have chose a better one because I've been working all day, but gonna get a chance to see some friends tonight and tomorrow.
And it's nice having a job that you can just go do. You can do it from anywhere, right? Like it's just. I mean, for a lot of people now, that's kind of become that way. And I think it's a lifestyle that a lot of people don't really want to give back, but that's nice for you, man. You're in Vegas, you're in out east, you're in Toronto, like you're out in Saskatoon. Like that's got to be awesome. Like that's a nice, not that we have hard jobs, but that's pretty cool to be able to do it from wherever.
It's cool. I mean, you guys have families as well, and I'm just a single guy, right? I don't have any kids to worry about, so I think it would be a whole different story if that was the case. So, I've got a little bit of freedom and flexibility, and have Wi-Fi will travel, I guess, and it's kind of the way the world's going. Like I know some people that have just gone down and kicked it at an all inclusive and still worked, on their laptop and just don't have the camera on for the meetings. Like it is becoming the norm, I think.
I never made it to Halifax, but there was a lot of guys when I used to play in Cape Breton who would, if we had a day off, would jump on a flight over there, and I had some great stories to tell. So I know it's kind of like, I know it's not Vegas, Chris, but that place is a lot of fun for nightlife. Are you gonna be okay? Like, I'm worried about you because you are alone. Like, if you need a companion, if you're looking for companionship at one of these places, I know a guy. So,
Yeah,
and
well,
really, I could care less about my family. So,
yeah. Hey, buddy, there's always an open invitation. Absolutely. Yeah, I can't believe you played in Cape Breton and never made it to Halifax. If the Citadels weren't in the league, you would have had to drive past Halifax to every game in the division.
I don't know if you know this, Chris, but I was a dedicated professional hockey player at that point. I didn't have time for those types of shenanigans. I was focused.
It is a fun city. There's like 3 universities, a number of colleges here, so it's very, got a very young vibe, especially downtown. And I'm staying right next to the rink here where the Mooseheads play. And there's a good bar scene here as well. Casino's not far, so I'll have plenty to do in my downtime for sure.
You're missing out though. My buddy opened a bar there a couple of years ago, but then they moved back and they sold it, and I think it closed. But it was called the Watch That Ends the Night, and it won like the best bar in Canada in 2000, best new bar in like 2018.
Yep, that's when I was living here. So
yeah,
that was a cool spot.
I think it shut down though, which is too bad. Otherwise, I'd tell you to go back there again.
Well, I'll seek it out. But if it's shut down, I guarantee you there's something else there. It's like all those, a lot of this city, a lot of St. John's where I'm from, a place shuts down and then something else pops up where it was. So.
Chris Abbott with us here on Two Guys and a Goalie today. Chris, obviously, I mean, we're not going to dive into all the Ontario stuff. That's something you've been dealing with. But you did send out a release today that you guys have signed a pretty good partnership with in my opinion, an up-and-coming Canadian athlete. Tell us a little bit about that and what type of role he's going to play with you guys.
Are you up and coming when you've already got 6 Olympic medals? My God.
There's more there. There's more there.
What's the bar? Yeah, we were really fortunate to strike an agreement with Andre Degrasse, multi-year deal.
That's great.
And take us through the next Olympics. And, we're trying to do our marketing a little bit differently. And, in Ontario right now, there's an influx of companies and a lot of big money getting thrown around. One group signed a 10-year deal with the Blue Jays today.
I saw
stick
that.
around on the deal with the Blue Jays. It's north of 8 figures per year. So, I mean, and that was less than what was announced today. So there's some big getting tossed around. And it's a lot of like, this is what you could attain. This is what you could be. And the commercials are the fancy guy in the casino elevator opening up to this world of possibility. And, we're kind of going the other way with it. We think that, the staying cool moniker that we have with our company is quite important. Listen, I know from time to time I can be a funny, tilted Twitter follow, but I mean, I never actually, chase my losses crazy or anything like that. And I think Andre really helps with that. We're going to build a lot of messaging around him. He's just a cool dude in general, right? Like there would be no way that I should even be in the same room as this guy. But hopefully we'll get to spend a bit of time with him, but he's going to be, we've named him the ambassador of cool, and it's going to be all about knowing your limits, staying one track to your goals and things like that, not getting distracted. So all the focus and everything that he has to be an elite level athlete and dedication to self. We want to have a lot of that messaging and a lot of that coming out of Coolbet as well.
Ambassador really cool. That's nice.
I thought you were really missing the boat with a marketing opportunity of chasing your bets, because that's where I would go with him.
Run from your problems.
I'm not sure what is going on for that one, and I'm not sure that the regulators would have allowed it.
Probably not. I like cool bet. Stay cool. Bet responsibly. Andre Degrasse. I mean, it's a good way to look at it, and obviously he's a bright star in this country. So that's a good get for you guys. That's a smart play, buddy. Outside of Two Guys and a Goalie, that's pretty big.
Yeah, Stay Cool with Andre is kind of going to be the thing of it. We're going to actually shoot a couple of commercials with him later this month at his place in Jacksonville, Florida. So you'll probably talk to me from there as well. Yeah, really exciting, really, really exciting. This is the biggest thing we've ever done. Dusty, Cass, Gager, no disrespect intended, but this is the biggest deal we've ever signed with Coolbet, and we're really excited to see where it might go.
That's a big one, man. That's a big one. No doubt about it. Let me know if he wants to start a podcast. That's how it usually works around here.
I did win the bronze medal for Saskatchewan 400 meters back in the day. So just saying.
Were you a runner, Gager? 400 meter what?
It was the sprint. It was the sprint. Goal. I won the bronze in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, where I actually went to high school in Saskatchewan. So, yeah, I was fast, buddy. I was fast.
Anytime you just said Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, like the lady in Slapshot. That's all I can figure out.
I was about to say if I can read the card right, but I thought, nah, maybe.
Yeah.
And everybody's wife, with the exception of mine.
Chris, hey, before I let you go, what do you like tonight in the National Hockey League? What are you on?
I'd be lying if I said I knew. I've been too busy. I'd be lying. I have no idea. I mean, your Oilers are probably like the Leafs a little bit, right? They look unbeatable one night and then they blow. Well, I don't know if the Oilers. Well, that game against Calgary was nuts, but the Leafs blowing a couple of leads, a lot of leads. So it's certainly been becoming a roller coaster down the stretch here. What's the sentiment like in Edmonton right now?
I think people are still pretty excited. Yeah. I mean, they've won 5 in a row 3 times under Woodcroft, and their recent play under Woodcroft has gone back to like when they started 16-5. So there's still some doubts, obviously, with the goaltending and what might happen in the playoffs. But I'll tell you, if they get to the playoffs, the city's going to be willing to bet on a lot of things with the Edmonton Oilers in the postseason. So, and they're going to be there. It's just a matter of if they're going to be at home to start or on the road. So it's shaping up to be a pretty nice spring here, wouldn't you say, boys? Like,
can you imagine if you end up with, let's just say, you end up with like Edmonton, Calgary, sometime in the playoffs. And then Edmonton somehow manages to get by everybody, and Toronto somehow manages to get by everybody. And you have McDavid versus Matthews in the Stanley Cup final. Can you imagine the amount of action that is going to be going on Coolbet? It is going to be insane.
That would be nuts
if that happens.
We'd have to set the total at 8.5 for every game.
8.5 totals. That would be good.
No.
I'd still be on the over.
Yeah.
Because clearly,
as the playoffs go on, it usually goes down to like 5.5. I don't think that would happen in that scenario.
That's going the other way.
I'm pretty sure Matthews is going to score 5 a game in the playoffs, at least.
I'd love to see the episode we did about goal or unders at the beginning of the year when we were saying there's no way Austin Matthews. It was like 57.5. It was something ridiculous.
It's true. It was high.
And we were like, not a chance. And this guy's just on an absolute tear. So I just hope nobody kept the video on that one.
Chris, we will let you get back to work. Busy time for you, no doubt about it, buddy. I'll catch up with you tomorrow on the Lock Shop, and we'll talk to you then, man.
All right, thanks for having me, guys. Take care.
There you go. That's a man of the world right there. Chris Abbott, Coolbet Canada. Stay Coolbet responsibly. When you sign up for an account, use our code 2GUYS, the number 2 and the word guys. All right, let's continue with the conversation. Here we are. We're talking about it. The Oilers in the postseason. So let's just dive straight into it. Gager, let's start with you. Let's start at the top here, and then we'll discuss all of the options for this team in the next. Well, let's just start with this quickly. We're not jumping the gun here, right? Like, they're going to the playoffs. They would need a pretty decent collapse. So I as long as you guys don't have an issue talking playoffs, we can dive into it here. Gager, any issue with looking at what they could do here?
No, I mean, I really think they are going to make the playoffs. It's just who are they going to play and where are they going to line up? Man, it was funny looking like a few weeks ago and seeing where the Flames were and think, okay, well, they're running away with this. To all of a sudden, a week and a half later, going, there's a lot of people actually talking about, wow, could the Oilers actually finish first in the Pacific? And do they want to at that point too? That's another question to ask. So kind of looking at it, I from a personal level, I don't want them to finish first in the division, really, and playing one of the other teams. I think they match up better against the team that they're playing tonight in that first round, and hopefully gaining some confidence in getting past that first round. But man, it's such an exciting time for. I mean, just talking to Chris and the betting aspect of a Battle of Alberta. I want that second round. I definitely would love to see that second round, but first round, I think the Kings are perfect for them.
So from a play style standpoint, and this is kind of I wanted to talk about this, and then
this is interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting to me because I think you're right. From a play style standpoint, I think the Edmonton Oilers match up best against the LA Kings in the first round. However, from an excitement standpoint and I just have to watch this standpoint, because the first round of the playoff series typically, in my opinion, is the most fun. I mean, the last one, like the Cup final, is really fun too. Like they're all fun, but it's like that first playoff series. There's just something special about it, like the opening and the chance for an upset and just the rivalries, and I don't know. It's just awesome. I would love, and I know a lot of things have to happen for this to happen, but I would so love to see Calgary versus Edmonton in the first round of the playoffs. If that can somehow happen, I mean, Edmonton would have to slide down to that second wild card.
They'd have to slide down to the wild card spot there, yeah.
Yeah, not very likely that it does. But man, or the first wild card spot rather. Man, wouldn't that be a blast? So I guess my question on top of that is this: if you could pick, because I know Pacific Division, those really are probably the two teams you're most likely going to play. Is going to be most likely it's going to be LA. But if you could pick anyone from the West that's going to be a playoff team, who are you picking for them to have the best chance at winning in the first round? And second, who would be the most exciting series to watch in the first round for the Edmonton Oilers?
Oh, geez. That's a tough one. Because I don't... God, they've done well against them. I'm just trying to pick the teams that I think they would beat. Some of those other teams, they just scare me a little bit. Like Minnesota scares me because the way they play. That third line is just a beast of a bunch of guys who can play and play fast and mean. I don't like that against them. With the Blues, their goaltending is really strong. I think when you look at it, it matches up well, but getting into a 7-game series against that goalie, that's going to be tough. I think I just want to keep it the way it is, Cass. I want to play the Kings, and hopefully Doughty and Brown are out for an extended period of time, and Quick doesn't come back. But I mean, Peterson's pretty good too. But
Peterson's been pretty good anyway, right?
So yeah, he's been really good too.
I do think this is the matchup, though. I mean, stop right now. Start the playoffs today. Oilers, Kings. Oilers have home ice. I'd probably pick them to win that series in 6-ish. And then you see if Calgary can get the job done and give us a Battle of Alberta in round 2. Battle of Alberta in the playoffs, I just can't even imagine it, boys. Like, I can't, having been here for 12 years talking about shit team after shit team, and then, 2017 comes along, might be good. And then since then, they kind of been stuck in neutral trying to get back. All of a sudden, you get back to the postseason, you win a first-round series, and your prize in the second round as a member of the media or a podcast or a fan or a player or whatever is Calgary, Edmonton. Come on. It couldn't be any better, guys. And I think it's very likely it happens. Like, if the playoffs started today, I'd be picking Calgary to win their series, and I'd be picking Edmonton to win theirs. And then we would get a Battle of Alberta in round 2. So
I legitimately hope it happens. I mean,
can you imagine these podcasts, man, if we're talking about game 1 of the Battle of Alberta last night, the playoffs, like I can't even. We'd have to do it every bloody day. Like, it's nuts.
I mean, it'd be like, and I know it was Ottawa, Montreal, but when I was playing still in that first round series we had against Montreal, and like we already hated that team, and then we had the Greiba hit where he hit Lars Eller and split him open for a whole bunch of stitches, open ice, and it just went nuts. Like, we weren't allowed to walk back to our hotel room after game 1. Like the cops had to come to the dressing room and say either take the bus or take a cab back to the hotel. Like, no walking, because you might get stabbed That's what they said, because you might get knifed. And I can't even imagine, like, because Ottawa and Montreal, like, they don't like each other as organizations and it seems. It is nothing like Edmonton, Calgary. So yeah, I mean, ideally to me, it would be a first round matchup, because I think it would just be even better than a second round matchup. But still, just give me Calgary anytime in the playoffs. That would be fun.
Yeah, it'd be like bike racks. Bike racks would be Red Deer. Meet you in Red Deer to brawl.
Meet you in Red Deer, you bastards. Game 7 would have to be done in a neutral zone in Red Deer, because you couldn't go into either market.
We'll have to ask one of my good buddies, Barry. He's a Scottish guy, and he's cleaned up his life now. He's moved over here and a bunch of kids. But back before he cleaned up his life, he was one of those soccer hooligans.
Oh, wow.
So he tells me all the time. He tells stories about like their 50-on-50 brawls that they would have, or like 75-on-75, where just like basically everyone meet in the woods and just beat the snot out of each other, and just the chaos that went on. So if we get to that point, boys, I know who I'm calling, because he's got a little experience with this. At least he can give us some help.
Perfect. I mean, whichever fan base can sign a hooligan first is going to have a significant advantage in the Rumble in Red Deer. It's going to be amazing. It's some Battle of the Bastards stuff from Game of Thrones. Everybody's just waiting to go. It would be good. Okay, before we get to Two Guys Showdown, I was talking about it on the show today with you, Cass, a little bit about how sustainable this is. Like, are we talking about possible Battle of Alberta in the playoffs for the next 2 or 3 years? And just one of the things that popped up was Evander Kane. And, every time we talk about Evander Kane here, or, post a clip, or I'm talking about on the show, you get a lot of people say, you got to find a way to keep him, got to find a way to keep him, got to find a way to keep him. And he's been very good. I mean, he's slid in there next to, you haven't seen a lot of guys who come along and just play well next to Connor McDavid. Like, you have Leon Draisaitl who will light it up with him. You got a lot of other people who can't really keep up. Evander Kane has just been a nice fit next to Connor McDavid. And obviously he's been producing. Gager, do you think there's any way the Oilers, find a way to move a contract or sacrifice a deal of Puljujarvi or Yamamoto to keep Kane around? Or is this enjoy him into the postseason and on to somewhere else?
Yeah, I wish, Dusty, but I don't think there's any possibility of the Oilers keeping him for next year. He's done everything that he's supposed to do, and it's not just the production that he's doing, like just the eye test of how he's interacted with his teammates. You can see on the bench after goals, in like you saw him in the scrum after the overtime wins, and the smiles, and guys like that camaraderie.
Yeah, cracking up on the bench the other day.
Like there's a lot of the off ice things that were the biggest question marks of all his stuff have, to me, from what I can see as an outsider looking in, is completely different with those subtle little things that you see on the ice with Evander Kane. So it's not only the production and the goal scoring and the physicality and bringing guys into the fight. It's a lot of other things, and those are the types of things that make his next contract even more expensive, right? That he goes, okay, how many GMs are looking at him right now going, this guy's turned the corner. He knows what's important to him. I'm going to take a chance on this guy because he's done it. He's proven everything that he wanted to do by coming here. And can you imagine if he scores the Game 7 overtime winner against the Flames? There's going to be contracts. Scouts are in the stands with contracts in their pockets. That's the way it's going to be. More slap shot stuff there.
Yeah, he's already done. He's done exactly what he needed to do.
Yeah. Stayed
out of trouble, produced. From all observations, looks like he's being a good teammate. Edmonton's not going to be able to pay him. Now, where Edmonton could get him is they give him less money, but longer term, because I still think teams are only going to look at 2 or 3 year deals for Evander Kane. They're not going to sign him to 6 or 7. So if the Oilers come in and say, hey, we'll sign you to a 4-year deal or a 5-year deal at a little bit less money, well, maybe he looks at it, but I just don't think there's a cap space left to do it. So, he basically was he was a trade deadline rental that just came a little earlier.
It's worked out well.
You didn't have to pay anything for it.
Heck of a rental.
It's
heck of a
well.
rental. Yeah. We'll see. Be a fun off season with that debate until something gets done with it for sure. Nielsen, Cass, and Gager there. We are brought to you by our partners at CoolBet. Sign up for an account today and use the code, the number 2 and the word guys. And they'll know that we sent you. All right, let's get to Two Guys Showdown, family feud style game between Cass and Gager. I'm once again Steve Harvey, and I've got the next category is a really fun one. This one's just Oilers related, very basic. So 5 answers on the board. If you come in first, if you get the highest one, you get to pass or play. If you don't have the number 1 answer, the other guy has a chance to steal, and then they can pass and play. So here we go. The top 5 answers are on the board. Oilers ice time leaders per game this season. Cass.
Darnell Nurse.
That's number 1 on the board. Cass, would you like to pass or play?
I would like to play.
All right, get ready for some dirty references, Steve Harvey style, right? He's always, that show is filthy. Like, they've made Family Feud very filthy. All right, Cass, 2, 3, and 4. What do you got?
Yep. Connor McDavid.
It's number 3, correct.
Leon Draisaitl.
Number 2, correct.
Cody Ceci.
Cody Ceci, number 4, correct. Are you going to run the table with no X's?
Do I need a number 5? Is that?
Are you looking at the ice time on your computer right now?
No.
I'm watching those eyes, you cheating bastard.
No, I'm asking. I'm looking at you. This is my looking at you.
Oh yeah, I guess I would be on your computer screen. You need a 5th one, number 5. Yeah.
I need a 5th one.
You got 3 X's here. Five.
I guess I'm gonna have to.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Duncan Keith.
Correct.
What?
Yes. Duncan Keith's number 5 on this team in on ice per game. They're all 20 or more. So Cass runs the table. No X's. I think he won the first one we did, so he's 2-0. We found a game that Cass can play. This is interesting. All right, one more category here. Cass, congratulations, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, you feeling good?
Because you're kind of easy trivia guy. I got the curse because I thought how bad that guy was on Monday, and I go, I'd never do that, and that was why I was so bad.
Here we are. You're
Danny?
Right.
Was it Danny?
Yeah, Danny from Vancouverville. All right, so the final category, we're going to do it again. The highest growth. Well, I'm just telling you. Well, I don't want to say anything. I'll say it after. We'll forget what I was going to say. We'll say it after. Top 5 answers are on the board. Highest grossing hockey movies in the box office. Cass.
Miracle.
Correct. Number 1 answer. The board is yours. You can pass or play.
I'm gonna play again.
Okay. Gager, be ready to steal.
I am.
Goon.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Slapshot.
Correct. That's number 5 on the list. I will note the Tooth Fairy for some reason was number 2. I eliminated it. Tooth Fairy's not on this list.
I was gonna say. Oh,
sorry, man. I eliminated Tooth Fairy. I was like, come on.
I was gonna do that. So I got Miracle. Tooth Fairy was one of my top picks.
3 answers left.
They play hockey in that as not a hockey movie. I should have passed on this one. Shoot.
Yeah. Come on, there's some obvious ones there. Sorry, I shouldn't say anything.
I mean, Slapshot 2.
That's 2 X's.
What am I missing out here?
Oh, you're gonna kick yourself in the ass, buddy.
Yeah.
5.
Oh, absolutely. Oh,
4.
Youngblood.
3. 3
Youngblood.
X's. You guys are gonna hit. Well, Gager, steal it. What do you got?
Mighty Ducks.
Mighty Ducks.
Idiot.
I could not believe you didn't get Mighty Ducks.
There's a Danny moment in all of us.
Oh, no, there's a Danny moment in all of us. I cannot believe you didn't get. I take back everything I said about you being really good at this game.
See, I was getting rid of that one. I thought, oh, you're going to get that one. I was thinking of it was. Can I guess another one? Was Mystery Alaska? Mystery Alaska?
No,
on there?
the top 5. You guys are going to probably hate me because I should have eliminated number 4 as well. But so number 1 was Miracle. Number 2 was Tooth Fairy. I never saw it, so I didn't like. Was that a hockey movie?
It was a hockey movie.
Fantastic movie. The Rock.
Seriously?
Yeah, Marshall will love
I'm
it.
gonna have to
We
watch
It's a
it.
hockey movie for sure. Yeah.
My kids, when we were younger, we had to play that in the car all the time.
Oh, okay. So Marshall would love it then, eh?
Yeah,
Because
he'll
he
love
loves The Rock and he loves. Oh, yeah, you're right. That'd be right up his alley. I
Yeah.
don't want a bunch of Tooth Fairy questions, but Mighty Ducks number 2, number 3, Mighty Ducks 2. And then this is the one I should have really eliminated. The Love Guru was actually.
Oh, right. I was trying to think of obscure ones. I was trying to think of the one with the monkey and playing hockey or whatever.
I just went to like
Most
stuff
Valuable
to watch on
Primate.
the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Love
Man,
Guru
I
was
can't-
awful. God, I love Mike Myers, but that movie was shit.
Can we,
Just the
for the
worst.
future reference, like for Mighty Ducks 1 and 2, can we eliminate the if there's a
Just want Mighty
sequel,
Ducks all together?
Yeah, just one Mighty Ducks. Well,
Might be able to do that. Might be able to do that
Yeah,
for you,
okay.
Gager. Yeah. All right. There you go.
Cass and I are moving to Vegreville.
Yeah. Cass is now
go
2 and
hang out
1
with Danny.
in the Two Guys Showdown. Gager is 1 and 2. The fun will continue on Monday, boys. Great sports weekend. We got so many things on the go. Masters underway. You got the Oilers tonight. You got the Oilers on Saturday. Australian Grand Prix. Major League Baseball is underway, and you can find it all at Coolbet if you want to hop on there. But boys, what's your highlight? Well, Gager, I know you're Australian Grand Prix, but Cass, what's your highlight of the weekend? Oilers Avs Saturday night. That's not bad.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably Oilers Avs on Saturday. That'll be a fun one. That'd be the big one for me.
This weekend, it's not just a dream, Dusty. It's a wet dream of bombastic proportions for sports. Like
It's
What?
orgasmic proportions, Gager.
orgasmic. What did I say?
What'd you say?
Fantastic.
Did I say bombastic? I was trying to keep it clean.
You did say it's a wet dream of bombastic proportions.
Well, sometimes my dreams go a little bit squirrely. Who knows? This is great. I can't believe how much is on. Like you having the dual screens is a must this week. It's a dual screen weekend for sure.
We will be back with another episode of Two Guys and a Goalie on Monday. Thank you very much for watching. We appreciate it. Enjoy your weekend. You'll be able to hear Cass on all of the pre- and post-game coverage. Gager, you're not working anything for Sportsnet between now and Monday, are you?
No, but I will be. There's the Black History Month or Black History caravan. So at Ice District.
Okay.
So I'm actually going to be on the radio tomorrow talking to Ched about that. I'm going to go down there probably tomorrow afternoon. So definitely go check it out.
Check it out.
Pretty cool.
It's until Saturday, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
there for
till
a couple
Saturday
days.
too.
Yeah, till
so,
Saturday. So make sure you get it. Yeah, check it out. It's
Go
pretty cool.
check that out because it is pretty cool. And
Awesome.
We'll see you. See you later.
We'll recap it all. Recap a busy weekend on Monday right here on Two Guys and Goalie for Gage and Cass. I'm Nielsen. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much for downloading. We'll talk to you next week.
See you in the